How long do I have my beard? Oh boy, just as long as Janet likes it. I mean, she'd always vetoed it, and she loves it. So I'm keeping it. Rhaegar, stage one. It's invasive ductal carcinoma, the most common type. It is hormone receptive, which is great. It's all, again, it's the, frankly, the best news that we could have gotten regarding the cancer. It doesn't get any better, realistically, than what she had. So that makes me very happy. Makes her very happy, too. How are we coming along with the template tools for Cube? We're coming along slowly, but we are coming along. Nano, glad you caught that stealth early. Yeah, who said that stealth wasn't confirmed? Oh, guys, be right back. The apparently the laptop isn't plugged in. I got to plug it in. Okay, there we go. M. Sanchez, I already said, you must have missed it. I said that we're going to invite people, invite beta folks. We haven't decided how many, but we're certainly going to be inviting at least one group in to the next alpha after this one. Odell, yeah, I did have to tell you folks, actually. I did promise that we would always be open and straightforward with you guys, good and bad news. And, um, if I kept it from you, then I would be not lying, but not letting you guys know, everything that's going on. And especially when it has affected me, so I haven't been, quite as focused. I mean, I'm still in the office every day, I'm still getting things done, but, the spare bandwidth, that's all kind of gone. And there have been times during the day that I've had to do research. So, uh, Dowling sure, thanks. Um, I've done a lot of the research already on the radiation therapy, and they're looking. Jan's actually in the clinical trial for the shorter dose, the target radiation tests that have been going on. They had them in Europe. They ran a study for over 10 years, or 10 years, that went very well. So she's going to be in the interops group, which is great. I look amazing. What's my secret? Uh, Diet and a lot of exercise. It really is that simple. Not easy, like so many things in life, but it was pretty simple. I've been on a low carb diet for 9 months until, frankly, Friday. Dropped a lot of weight. I'm almost 60 pounds down, and I've gone off the diet so I can enjoy the summer. Have some fruit, have lots of fruit, fresh veggies, and all that, and then go back on a diet in the fall. How close am I to my weight goal, Rhaegar? I would like to lose another, in a perfect world, I'd like to lose another 35 pounds. If I lost 20, 25, that'd be great. Foggy, I'll pass on, your words. She enjoyed meeting you in Oregon. The beta timeline, we're still on the same timeline. As I keep saying, everything depends on whether we get enough engineers in to get things done. I should hopefully have an official update on that in less than 2 weeks. But just so you know, we are uh, we're having some serious interviews with people. We've flown out one candidate already. We're going into our second interview with another candidate, maybe a third interview on another, and tons of single interviews. Andrew and I have been spending a lot of time doing this, and thanks to the great and powerful recruiter Anna, we definitely have had some good prospects and some not so good ones that we didn't have to spend too much time on. Perfectly good people, perfectly fine programmers, but just not what we're looking for. And that's the key. We're still being picky, and we're looking for specific skill sets, and that takes time. Ambitions for the depths, that's a kind of long answer to a pretty short question. But what I will say, and because this is kind of relevant because it's come up on the forums, is that the intent of the depths is not to be the equivalent of keep trading. It's not meant to be the place that three realms or two realms, end up working out an arrangement for taking control of. It is not going to be that kind of place. If it is, then we failed. I failed. Because that's not my vision for the depths. That's not my vision for the game. The depths is a place you're going to want to get control of, absolutely. But it's not going to be a place that is so going to turn the game into just, again, depth centric, depth trading, depths, whatever you want to call it, to take the rest of the game out of the game. So, my ambitions for it is to be very cool, very scary, very bizarre, fun, but it's not the whole game. Will we surprise you guys with a completely unannounced feature location on launch? Anything's possible, but I doubt it. Anything big we're going to want to test, any feature, any location we're going to want, a lot of eyes on. The key for this game is not trying to launch with surprises for people, but rather to launch something that's really polished and a lot of fun. And, while a small surprise could be possible, small Easter egg sort of thing, that's okay, but anything serious, no. Are we closer to locking down races for each realm? Nope, not closer at all. I still have a lot of races that I want to put out before you guys. That's funny because Andrew and Tyler and I were discussing this morning. Don't forget, I promised you folks you'd get a vote, in the final races for this game. So we can't really lock them down until after we've put out enough races to allow you guys to have a vote. Question about RP servers, whether we're any closer to deciding. I told you guys, I'm leaving that up to you. This is not a decision that I'm going to make. If there's enough support for it, I'm all in favor of it. I'm all in favor of it. That's again, that's up to you. Warrior and obviously Camelot Unchained are very different when it comes to your gear. We've said from the beginning that in this game, gear isn't restricted by class and generally, by race. I always want to kind of say generally just in case. But, it is going to be very different than Warhammer, or same with Dark Age. No, I don't think so. Guinness, I think you're confusing, and I certainly know you well enough that you understand this. That RPS, rock paper scissors, And reactionary gameplay doesn't mean it's Twitch gameplay. It certainly can become Twitch depending on how things work, but I don't think, I don't think you would call Dark Age a Twitch game, and it had, reactionaries and positionals and all that, and other games have had as well. We're not trying, to be Guild Wars, 2.5, but we do want to have some things in there, just again, reactionaries that get, I guess, a little closer towards the Twitchy end, but I don't think they're Twitch. Excluding people by not having PVE. Nikki, I know. Look, I kind of like PVE. I love playing PVE, but it was kind of simple. Do we put out a Kickstarter for a game that can actually ship, or do we want to do a Kickstarter and promise, the world, the sun, and the moon, and then not be able to deliver because we only raised X amount of money and didn't get 70, what is Star Citizen up to now? 72, 73 million. I would love to have PV in another game, but the only way to do that is either find a way of generating a lot of PV content cheaply, or find someone with deep pockets, to fund the development of a PVE game. So, while I wish that it would have been possible to have PVE in this game, I don't see any way that made sense, and also in a way that didn't distract from what I think the core, obviously, of this game is RVR. Question, L'Oreal, about bots. Yeah, you guys know, at least I hope you know how I feel about bots. I've said it countless times now over the last 2 years. Yeah, we're going to be working on, both obviously through CS when we have CS, and code-wise to make sure people aren't botting. Any news about archery? Yeah, JB is working on archery this week and probably next week as well, and it's coming along nicely. From Rhaegar, could the depths be used to help with realm balance? Absolutely. Would we have tournaments for CU or screenshot contests? I think screenshot contest, absolutely. In terms of tournaments, well, we'd have to leave that up to you guys. Is that something you want? Will there be GMs and will they be active in the game? In the RP server, that is certainly the approach I want to take. What we have talked about in the past is, all our RP folks know, is potentially two different ways of doing an RP server. One, the kind of basic way of just calling it an RP server and enforcing name recognition and things like that. And the other way would be to charge more per month, hire staff, and run special events. That's what the extra subscription fee would be for, and that's for the RP server only. And that is not decided yet. It's something that we're leaving up to you. If you've got, you meaning the RPers, if you've got enough support for that, we're interested. Monocratic. Am I keeping gank groups in mind during the development of this game? Man, if you've been on the forums, I have said this so many times, same in IT chat, about, say, stealther gank groups or any gank groups. Yes, we are. Nazgul, will there be any gluten and low-carb portions available? Yeah, absolutely. Potions available? Yeah, damn, there went the joke right down the toilet. I was going to say Lucapans are low carb, but hey. Could we get a special RP tier? Hmm. Um, okay. I hadn't really considered that, but have to talk about that on the forums to backers. Will some spell elements be realm exclusive? Yes, they will be. When are we going to start talking about lunch or pants? Yeah. There's a t-shirt. Thank you, Ibsen. When are we going to start talking about the next stretch goal? Soon, actually. We are going to begin to talk about it here. I'm kind of undecided on what the next stretch goal should be. So that's something that will take a little bit of time for us to think about, mainly because we just did, obviously, an extender pack stretch goal. We've done the hiring stretch goals. So, I want to be, as we have been, smart with this one. Thor, thanks for the kind words about Lady J. She is going to be absolutely just fine. Rhaegar, anything new I can tell you about stealth? Nope, nothing new. Still on the table. We've had a little, well, since the last time I certainly live streamed, we've talked about it a little more, certainly here, but nothing new to report. Hiring stretch goal was the smartest ever. I couldn't agree more. I think that's something that's very important for a game in a studio like ours to have. We shouldn't be putting out a lot of stretch goals at this point, or any, frankly, that could delay the game. Everything that we put out should be either to speed up the game's development or have no effect on the game's development for launch. How do I envision a game, Sacrix, where you can have a slower reaction speed and still play the game? Well, I mean, look, if you're as slow as molasses, well, then, yeah, you won't be playing this game. But you won't be playing any game like this. If it takes you this long to click, ready, set, then, yeah, you're probably going to die in an RVR game. So, I really, again, I don't think it's a problem. In terms of the benchmark, it's a little more complicated in the case of, say, the programmers, because we've had to use a recruiter. And for those of you who've worked with recruiters in the past, they take a piece of the action for getting the candidate to your door. So it isn't just as simple as 2x, times annual salary. Even if it was that simple, which it isn't, because then you have to factor in everything else, not just the person's salary. There's obviously overhead, there's benefits, blah, blah, blah. Would you be open to interns to provide art? We already are. We have been. We have one intern now, have another one coming in. Yes, we will be doing more live streaming. Obviously, Michelle is live streamed, and I expect she'll be doing more live streams. And Tyler and other people as well. Are you worried about having enough subs to support the studio? No, not worried at all. In terms of land ownership, not talking about it yet. That's why I haven't answered the question. Is there a target number of skills to be able to keep up trained up effectively? No, not at this point. That's something we're going to be balancing as time goes on. Will their Vanity and Fluff items make an appearance? Oh, absolutely. Same with veteran rewards, of course. The veteran rewards, stuff like swords of invincibility, armor of slaying, that sort of thing. Come on, guys. Joking. Sword of invincibility, armor of slaying. Okay. So of course we'll have veteran rewards. Nothing that could be good for the, considered in any way pay to win. We don't do that. We don't do it for cash, and we don't do it for rewards either. Oh, good, Lars. I'm glad somebody got it. As to beta, we'll talk about it when we get closer, just like we did alpha, folks. Can you use enemy roads? Of course you can. Whether you'll get the same benefit from using them as players of that realm is a to be determined. Donnie T, will the beta testers read the manual? I don't know. I know a bunch of the alpha testers who didn't read the manual. Is it full loot PvP? No, it is not. We've said that from the beginning. This is not a full loot PvP game. Have we messed with any of the NVIDIA effects right now, effects libraries? No, PhysX has been our focus. We'll be moving to some of the other NVIDIA libraries this summer. When the game is launched, we'll be playing as myself. Oh, absolutely. I'll give you guys plenty of chances to kill me. Actually, and probably mock me for my lack of PvP mad skills. What are you most excited about to see us players do on day one? Not crash the server. That would be great. When will the name of the game be fixed? Soon. That's one of the other things, like T-shirts, that I've had, just not the time nor the mental energy to focus on the last 6 weeks. Will you live stream The Office at launch? Oh, sure, absolutely. Absolutely. Zero, I always say soon. Yeah, and then sometimes soon becomes now. Uh, Fairly, yes, it is possible. Zero, yeah, you'll see real soon. Am I worried about land grabs? No, not really. I know that that question generally is a reference to obviously Arc Age and some of the issues, with land ownership there. I don't think it will be the case here. I really don't. Hey, that's a great statement and a great handle you got there. Lovely. I'm sure your mom is real proud of you. Can I chop off Lucapan heads and put them in my Viking home to display? No problem with that at all. Actually, I don't have a tan. This is kind of my natural color. Color, sorry. I wish I'd been sitting out in the sun though. Given what I went through last summer, maybe not. I do miss the sun. How far along are any other class documents? Moving along, not as quickly as I would like, but hey, that's on me. Camera color looks different from usual. Got me, no idea why. Kind of looks, I'm looking at, yeah, kind of looks right. In terms of magic types, do I see? Honestly, as many as we can get in over the years. I think there's, a pretty wide variety of magic types that haven't, really been used in most MMOs. Stuff you see whether in books or you see in, you know, muds even. Ah, the internet. So much love. How close are the new builders tiers to coming out? Oh, hopefully a few weeks. Do we have an NDA for alpha testers? Yes, we do. Any question on the number? Any guess on the number of islands? Nah, not at all. Arrow, as to our some of our beta backers, as you know, we have different levels of beta support. So we may let all the betas in, we may let some of the betas in. That's all it means right now. Oh, Rhaegar, come on. Are we past the point of stealth being added by launch? You know the answer. I've already answered that on the forums. Come on. Can founders' points be gifted to non founders? Nope, can't happen. And frankly, I think you know the answer to that as well. Good question, Beer. It is customary for PvP or RVR centric games to kind of fizzle quickly? Yeah, that's an excellent question. It's something that obviously not only games like Dark Age had to face, Warhammer as well, though they had obviously PVE in them and heavily PVE in one case. Um, one of the things that obviously I think is going to set us apart from some games is the tri-realm nature of the game. It's not open PvP. It's not a situation like even on the PvP servers on EverQuest or Asherons or Dark Age, where a guild or two can become quite dominant, or three can become quite dominant, and then the server goes bye bye for the most part. In this game, because it is tri-realm, because it is not just an open world and open PvP. I think it is something that is going to be, I think by its, just by its nature, going to have a greater longevity if we do our job. The second thing that we have to do differently than some games, others have done this. Eve is a perfect example of what I'm going to use. of continuing to put money into the game, continuing to make the game better. And that's where the extender packs come in. So our goal is not just to launch it and then pray that the subs stay strong, but really to keep investing in the game, and hopefully that will offset what can be and has been seen a lot on PvP games. Oh yeah, I certainly Kamakan didn't mean to say that three-sided PvP has not been done in any other game besides Dark Age. Obviously, it has. Even before Dark Age, as you guys know, when I always talk about Kesmai's Air Warrior game. How's the sound engineer doing? DB's doing great. I mean, if you've been in the alpha, you've heard some of his sounds. We need some tech on our end to support him more, but we're really, really happy with DB. Daniel's been, absolutely going great guns for us, and we're very pleased with his work. Question about density of mobs. Not even thinking about that right now. Honestly, it's the least, I don't want to say it's the least of our concerns, but it is not something that, frankly, we're even going to be worrying about for quite a while. The first NPCs we're going to be getting in the game won't be just, wandering, critters. We'll obviously need to work on guards. They're kind of important. Does CU have any private kingdoms? Well, we do kind of have Cube, after all, and we did kind of, do something interesting with that. Any news on looting players and caravans? Nothing other than what we've said before, that caravans are absolutely confirmed, and on looting players, it's not full loot. Do I think subscriptions MMO, do I think sub-based MMOs are still viable at this point? Oh my God, yes. Look, it's really kind of simple, and I've been saying this for, God, forever. There is no, one, ring. There is no one payment solution that is going to work for every game and work for every company. And so do I think subs are still viable? Of course they're still viable. WoW loses 3 million, but it means it still has how many million left? Look at Elder's, what Elder Scrolls had and probably still has at peak. Look at all the other games out there. Of course they're still viable. The question is, are you going to see another WoW? Okay, or are they viable in the sense of, can you get enough subs to support a 200, $300 million game? That's the question that companies need to be asking themselves. If you're making, a game the size, well, say of Sweater, SWOTOR, and you're spending the kind of money that was spent on that game, is it realistic to think that you could have 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, whatever the number is, subs to support that development cost? That's the important question. Do I think that we have more than enough we will have more than enough to support our game in our studio? Absolutely. We do a great job, even a good job. We'll be fine. Hopefully we'll do a great job. Will we localize this game in other languages besides English? That's part of the plan. Do I want to release beta sooner than later so I don't have to issue refunds anymore? Sure, that'd be great, but I'm not going to rush beta just so I don't have to give out as many refunds. I told people when they backed this game that, we were going to give refunds at this stage of development, and so we are. And does it hurt every so often, like today? Yeah, you kind of sit back and you go, gosh, I wish I didn't have to do this, but I am, and I'm going to continue doing it. And to rush this game, into beta just so I could, save some money, that would be a betrayal of, I think, one of the core principles of this studio in regards to this game is, to be open, to be honest, and to be respectful both ways. We want respect, obviously, from our backers, and we want to be respectful for them, to them. Cutoff dates for the lifetime sub. Certainly, what I've said in the past is that when we go to the next group of tiers, that things will change. So that's what I can say right now. Mr. Potato, a lot of people do. I've given out a lot of a lot in refunds, but that's okay. I told people that no, they're taking a risk, and I do think that games like ours should give refunds if asked up to a certain point. Certainly if you play the game forever and then ask for your money back, well, no. But if somebody, has trouble in their life, I mean, somebody who backs even a high tier and all of a sudden something really bad happens, um, you know, I'm not going to be, I mean, I certainly legally don't have to give it, even if I hadn't said that. But I think I should. I should give it to them. So that's what we're doing. Will multi-boxing be considered cheating? This question has been asked before, and you guys know, my answer. If we see people with eight, multi-boxes, eight PCs multi-boxing, obviously that would be bad. Okay, and that is cheating. If somebody, is running two characters, and one is, buff botting the other, well, you guys also know what I've said about that. The trouble is, okay, and here's where the caveat comes in, but I have to, as always, be honest. We can't detect that. We can't detect two people playing on a stream, on even the same, essentially the same IP address, and say that you're one person. I can't say that, three people, four people even, who are playing from a house are actually one person and ban that. So, it's tough. Do I want to see what I've seen in other games where you see eight people running around, running quests, and it's one person controlling seven? Obviously, that's bad. But even if I said right here and now that yes, you cannot multi-box, you cannot have two machines running, this game at the same time, how are we going to enforce it? And so you see sometimes developers say, yes, we're going to crack down on it. Show me how. You can ask questions, you can do things, and people can generally get away with it. Are we going to be looking at it? Absolutely. Or if we get proof that somebody is multi-boxing like that, would that be bad? Will they be banned? Absolutely. But there's no way realistically that we could say, hey, two people from the house or two accounts playing from the same house. Oh, sorry, you're banned. You're obviously multi-boxing. That would be bad. Okay, guys, we've got about 8 minutes to go. Laws, yeah. Multi-boxing has been a problem forever. Tum Tum, hey, long time no see. Um, oh, geez. Okay, I have no idea. Did you email Genesee? Because you should have had him added. I have no idea why you haven't. Copy me on it, please. But I'm sure Jen will be right on top of it. From Beer Chug, are we pushing the upper limit of our tech? Huh. Um, in some ways, I mean, one of the things that we've been able to do is obviously get a ton of people in the game. And do we have we reached a limit where we can't get more? No, of course not. But are we where we want to be yet? No. So we're going to keep pushing the tech. We're going to keep pushing the number of people we can support in a small arena, and then a larger arena. And just as we have been. Will archers have abilities that interact with the air system? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's obviously a very important part of air. Um, Everything has to be able to react with each other, right? I mean, if it's just a magic projectile system, if it's just a magic interaction system, then we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot, or actually in the head. A projectile is a projectile is a projectile. If it's fired by an archer, it's just another projectile. So yes, archer projectiles will be able to interact. So you might be able to intercept that giant fireball that's coming towards your castle. What is the coolest thing in CU at the moment? I think air is still pretty cool, especially for an early implementation of it. Everyone will start with default animations, and then we'll see how many we can get in afterwards. Certainly, I'd love to have more. Will live streaming be happening more often? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, but I know what Donnie. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you guys can tell everyone tell Donnie what he's going to say. We know what the coolest part in Donnie's mind is, right, Donnie? Will server tech with newer, faster servers allow more players, etc., on screen? Two different issues. Part of the issue with the number of people that can be in a small area is both networking and video card related. Obviously, the more people that are in a small area, the more information that needs to be passed around between all of these people. And in terms of on the client itself, it's the ability of the client. It's the ability of the card to render the images on the client as fast as possible. So, two different things that have to be considered. How did I create CSE? I held a gun to Andrew's head and said if he wanted to get his cat back, to his cat's head. Sorry, God, I am fumbling my jokes today. Dawn, rats, or cats. Creating CSE was simply really convincing Andrew Meggs to work with me, and then it all took off after that. Okay. Yeah, I totally failed. I'm so ashamed. Yep, yep, yep. Major face palm. Okay, so 3 minutes to go. Look for the really good questions. One really good one. Okay, will the players get banned when they use glitches and exploits? Absolutely. Um, look, this is an RVR game. It's RVR, you say centric, but it's really almost RVR only. Even if you look at the NPCs as you're killing as part of RVR, especially in the depths. So enforcing cheating, enforcing and banning people for exploiting is something that's really important. And yes, will absolutely do that. So that's it. Oh, and I noticed there've been a few questions about guilds. Sorry, I haven't responded to them simply because there's nothing, to talk about right now. We haven't even begun thinking beyond what we did initially on guilds.